Welcome back, everybody. That
Hello,
was a good
everybody.
presentation.
Our next presenter is Cameron Bennett, and he'll be presenting his game, Spaceraser. Cam's up to you now.
Great. This is a game I've been working on for my integrated game studio class. I'm a solo group, and this is my game. It is called Spaceraser. It's a 2D platformer shooter inspired by games in the like of Contra, and a lot of boss battle cues I've taken from other games from Nintendo, like Kirby or Super Mario Brothers. Now, just to start things off here, I have a basic little character editor, and it saves the character's different color hue values as a float, and it just pulls them out in runtime to give the character a different color. And just to add to the customization, I have a weapon shop where you can upgrade 2 different weapons, a shotgun and a sniper rifle, each of them having very, very different playstyles. The shotgun is very up close, it doesn't deal damage at long range, and the pellets deal less damage. Whereas the sniper shoots slower but has much better projectiles. And the last thing on the menu is the target practice, where you can do a time trial and try to hit the targets as many times as you can in 30 seconds. And it'll keep track of the player's high score, and you can try and beat it. And this is a good time to show off some of the mechanics of the game as well. So I added a lot of 3D maneuverability into this game. I added a high jump, a wall jump, and just to be able to duck under things, I added a slide. And it adds just a lot more variety when it comes to the combat and the variety of the boss battles, and the different play styles you can employ when doing different playthroughs if you want. And as for the level select screen, here it is. Starting off on the tutorial mission, there is a short intro cinematic. And cutscenes are skippable by pressing Enter, Escape, or Space. We can skip through there. I have a tutorial mission right here that guides the player through how to play the game. Just introducing the mechanics very slowly as it progresses, with a text box to tell you how to perform each of the actions. And now we enter the first level of the game, which is the first boss battle. The soundtrack for this game I composed with a friend of mine from high school. He's very into music, so he wanted to help me along in this project, and he added just some good variety to the game with the soundtrack. And something I wanted to make a point of with every one of these boss battles is if you're very, very careful enough to be able to get through it without taking any unnecessary damage. Really, the whole point of this game is to just pretty much just kind of test the player's ability to quickly react to things and move back and forth and around, dodging projectiles and shooting back at the boss. And at the end of the first boss battle, just to utilize more of the parkour mechanics, I added a little escape section where the volcano slowly fills with lava, and the player has to escape before it rises. Here's the second cutscene. Every one of these cutscenes were made as their own scene in Unity, and whenever a cutscene loads, it's just loading that scene, it'll play through, and at the very end of each cutscene, which is run by an animator, it just loads the next scene up. And because we beat the boss, we now have some weapon upgrades. And this will lead us into the second and final battle of the game. This was heavily iterated upon throughout the build of the game. The music was added very final as a just very last second addition. The battle itself went through a lot of work. Initially, it was just a crab that kind of walked up to the ledges and shot at you from time to time. But as I went on, I added more variety, kind of looking for games like from creators like Nintendo for inspiration. Like just the general flow and rhythm of the battles is just always very good in their games, and that's kind of something I wanted to take cues from. And once the boss is down to half health, he'll start being more aggressive and frequent with his attacks, which includes amplifying his currently existing attacks to be a lot either longer or just more powerful. And if you shoot the gas projectile as it comes out of the barrel of his gun, you can actually damage him with his own poison. And now that we beat him, we get a little animation. And a little message for the end of the demo. Now, as of now, there is not too much replayability to the game. It's a fairly straight through run of the game. It's just kind of you play each mission and you get through it. There's really not too much variety to like how you can play each mission, but the point of the game was kind of to induce the player into a certain kind of flow of movement around the map, kind of like you know how Doom Eternal pressures and forces players to either push ahead and just fight through a horde of enemies, or play it safe, stay back, use your environment to move around, dodge projectiles, that sort of thing. So I'm definitely taking a lot of design cues from new and old, and I'm implementing it into a style that's easy for one person to work on, which is 2D. And overall, the project has seen a lot of changes. The UI used to be a lot more cluttered. The weapon upgrades were all on the main menu. The character customization was a lot sloppier, and it didn't save properly. And I think this project just was kind of a test of patience at times, because working on a game on your own for so long can become difficult after a while to keep up with. But it was definitely a really good experience, just kind of pulling ideas together and trying to formulate a more finished product than what I'm used to doing with just simple school projects. So overall, I'd say the project has just been a very good experience, and it's been very eye-opening to how long these processes actually take, because they're always going to take a lot longer than you estimate them. And just to wrap up on the features of the game, there is a option to delete all of your progress if you want to run through the game again. You can choose not to. And resetting everything will bring you back to the very first level. It'll get rid of all your weapon points and reset your character.
All right, very nice. So we have our first question from the chat, from Alberto's. Any future plans for this game?
Yes, actually. I intend on working on this game throughout the summer with my friend who I worked on the music with. I'm hoping eventually to turn this into a project I can release and actually publish. But there's a lot of things I need to change, like even from like the very foundation of the game, like the save system needs to be changed, because Unity's player prefs are only so reliable.
All right. Any more questions from the chat? It looks like just a lot of people are saying that they really like everything about it.
It's good.
Yeah,
I
but-
personally really
everyone
like
feel
the
free to try the game out.
mechanics.
Yeah, that is the thing I spent the most time on in this project, actually, was the movement. I think I spent about 2 weeks on just getting the movement down alone. And just as I went through the project, I even added upon that. I added the slide probably a couple weeks after that, and I didn't add the wall jump until, a few weeks after that, even. So it's kind of an iterative process to just add more depth to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Unless there's any more questions, I think we can wrap up for now. Thank you for coming. I think that was a
course.
really great game.
Yeah, super
Uh,
well-rounded. Loved it.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. I guess we'll see you later.
I'll see you.